Okay, so we are on our special Halloween episode. But for the first, we're going to make sure we time it 7 minutes. We are actually going to talk about the new Doctor Who episode, or episodes, because 3 have come out so far, and we really have to talk about this. If you don't want to hear about it, if you haven't watched it, and if you don't want spoilers, please go forward to 7 minutes. We've actually got the timer right next to us, just so that way you don't hear any spoilers. All right, so... fudging love it.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's the best, and I love that it's darker. Like, I really love, the first episode got pretty, dark and creepy, and, there were parts that made me and my partner jump, and...
Yeah, and I think that she's going to do great.
Oh, she's already done great. Like, the Rosa Parks episode, whoa.
Yeah, and I think it was it was an episode that we needed to have.
And it got everyone around the world. And it's nice to finally see after that episode, people are finally writing good things and positive things about this season and about Jodie, because she just had nothing but slander and negative comments and boycotting, and it's
because she was a woman.
Yeah, and now that they've actually given it a go and watched it, and director, he's just amazing.
Yeah, and the first episode, I was hooked, straight away. I just knew that she was going to be amazing, and I like the fact that you still have the scary monsters, and I love the fact that the companions, or they're not companions anymore, they're best friends.
Yeah, they're friends.
They're friends, and I love the fact that they're all connected, and that's why there's 3 of them.
Yep.
And, the second episode was great. It had a bit of a sci-fi feeling to it, like you said. And, that was great. And then the Rosa Parks episode.
The second episode, that one was really, really good.
Yes.
And it just, it tested humanity in the future and what you would do. It was, I don't know, I feel like it's something that you would see in a sci-fi film, but they've actually just finally put it in Doctor Who.
And sorry to keep going back to it, but the Rosa Parks episode, I like the fact that there was no monster. And that, yes, there was the bad guy, but it wasn't a scary monster in that episode.
Yeah, I feel like the bad guy is going to be a reoccurring thing throughout time. It reminded me of the classic Doctor, I think maybe season 1... or
series 1 or season 1?
The very beginning, or it could have been the second Doctor. I can't really remember. But when the Master first came into it, he did that sort of thing. He messed with time, and I feel like that's what this guy's going to do. But I don't know. My partner came up with a really, really great idea that his watch is very similar to what Jack Harkness had.
Oh, it was a vortex
same
manipulator.
Sort of thing. So, what if he was a soldier at the same time of Captain Jack?
Yeah. Oh, I heard rumors that Captain Jack and Eve Miles's character were going to come back in sometime.
Yeah, you were saying that. But aren't they also restarting Torchwood? Aren't they going to
Yes, except it's not going to be actual Torchwood. It's going to be the radio dramas.
Ooh.
And the Big Finish, which, if you haven't already listened to them, the audio dramas for Torchwood were awesome.
I haven't listened to them.
They're really good. They keep you intrigued.
But you know that I haven't even finished Torchwood, so...
shut up and watch it already.
I don't have time to finish everything. But back to Doctor Who. Seriously, give it a go. It's different. But it's different in a good way.
And I also like the fact that they promote that you don't need to know anything about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And my mate has actually said that she screens it. Her kids love it, but she's actually screening it so that way she can know whether or not it's appropriate for her kids to watch. But I think it's a lie. She just wants to watch it.
I really like to I like to read the comments on, because I felt like I'm a Instagrammer, and on Instagram I like to read the comments to see what people are saying about the episode, and it was really good to see that people were saying, I like that you're educating my kids. They'll turn to them after the Rosa Parks episode, turn to their mum, and they wanted to know more about it, and it was good that you were educating them in a way without them actually, I don't know, they just wanted to learn. Well,
that's what Doctor Who was when it first started. If they go to the past, it was a history lesson, and when they went to the future, it was a science lesson. My mate has actually said that she refuses to watch it because she does not believe that the Doctor should be a man. should be a woman.
See, that bugs me.
It shits me
that's
as
why
well.
it was so negative. Like when she was first announced, is because people just like were like, "No, I'm done." And like I was seeing comments of people who were like lifelong supporters, and then they're like, "Nah, you've lost me now." And it's just like, but give it a go.
Do you know what? Who cares? They've got new fans now.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's. Oh, I just love this season so much.
Yeah. I think she's becoming my favourite, and I love that she's got quirky and she's got kind of a Tennant and Matt Smith feel without being silly.
Yes,
because she's not silly like.
But then she's got very much like she reminds me a bit of Capaldi too, because like when she's like she's got her finger on her mouth and she's trying to think, and then she'll point, and it's just like Capaldi did that a lot in season 1 because his brain, he kind of lost a bit of it when he transformed. And
the TARDIS is back, and I love her sonic screwdriver.
I got like goosebumps when she
Mummy.
When she walked into the TARDIS, and I'm like, I got goosebumps. It was the best.
Yeah, it was really good.
And then like another part that I got goosebumps is when Yaz was like, we were here, we were part of the story, and I'm like, oh, I just got goosebumps.
I know, and it's heartbreaking to know that really happened, and you know we've come so far as humanity. And
they portrayed it well without having to be too brutal or too, make
it gimmicky.
Yes, and they did it well.
Yes.
We're coming up to almost have to finish on this. Do you have anything else you've got to say?
Just watch it if you haven't already. I'm obsessed.
Please watch it. Please, if you have watched it, email us. Let us know what you thought of it at nerdazons@outlook.com. We love to hear what you guys thought of it. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, why not? Please just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to move on to the episode.
Okay, so welcome to the Nerdazons
Halloween special.
All right, so the movie that we chose is a cult favorite for Halloween. Hocus Pocus.
Yes, we had to do this one. Yes. Like, if you have not seen it, where have you been living?
Exactly. But for those who don't know what it's about, a curious youngster moves to Salem when he struggles to fit in before awakening a trio of diabolical witches that were executed in the 17th century.
Yeah, I mean, that's already a good enough reason to go and watch it. I don't care how much CGI comes out. Like, you just can't beat costumes and sets and all of that, and it looks awesome.
And it still holds up.
Yep, still does. And like I used to watch it every year. Remember when they used to play it on TV? They stopped, but they used to play it on TV every year, and then they really need to reinstill that and start playing it again.
Yeah, but don't remake it.
Yeah, no, don't. If they do, I think they'd F it up.
Yeah. So yeah, I just love this show
so much that we both have it on DVD.
Yeah, I did own 2 copies.
This is one movie that I think we both had and were able to watch without having to go and find a way to stream it somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can't tell you guys where to watch this one because we both have the DVD.
And it'll be on TV at one point.
It will. But love it. Like, I really, really love the mix of personalities between the Sanderson sisters. Like, I love that you've got one that has to always do what the oldest one does. The oldest one, as usual, is always the one in charge, and then you got the dumb young one who's just off doing her own thing, and it worked well.
And the music is awesome.
Yes.
And I love that. I put a spell on you song, and I sing along to it every time.
I used to love Sarah Jessica Parker's song that she used to sing on the broom as a kid. I've still got both of those songs on my iPod.
That's hilarious. And
I still have an iPod.
I love that, they don't have brooms, so they get
the other stuff out of the cupboard.
The vacuum and
it's
stuff
good
like that.
humour, like without being over the top humour.
Yes.
But it's just the best. And I love when the little kids, like, they're like, wow, broomsticks. And then they took it and they fly off with the actual broomsticks.
I know.
And they're dressed up as mini Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, it's just such a great movie. Makes my heart sing.
Yeah, one of the best Halloween films ever. So,
and it's not scary, so I can watch it.
Yeah, and like I think it'd be a great thing for your kids to watch if you want to give them that little spooky feel, but without them getting scared. So and you can still watch it as an adult. It's not a kids' film. It is for adults as well.
Exactly.
But no, that was a good movie pick for this month, I must say.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job on both our behalves.
Yeah, I reckon. We chose well.
We did.
So let's move on to Steph's TV pick of the month.
All right. So this one is a Netflix original called The End of the Effing World. And you would actually be happy because a new season is coming out. It's not just one season.
Oh, wow. Finally.
Surprise. Okay, so this one is about James, who's 17, and pretty sure he's a psychopath. Alyssa, also 17, is the cool and moody new girl at school. The pair make a connection and she persuades him to embark on a road trip in search for her real father. Now, also James believes he's a psychopath, and he sets his mind on killing somebody because he starts off, hurts animals, and I mean, you do know that, but it's not graphic. And then he decides he's going to one day kill a girl, and he decides he's going to kill Alyssa. But then they just go on an adventure, a car ride, and everything just gets in the way, and there is murder that happens, and, it just intrigued me in the first 10 minutes. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I had a friend tell me about it ages ago, and she's just like, you should watch it. It's just about this guy who wants to kill a girl, but then, they fall in love. And I'm like, okay, that sounds amazing.
No,
but you're making it sound really good.
And a quote that I've heard that it's Dexter meets Freaks and Geeks.
Okay, I haven't seen Freaks and Geeks, but I've seen Dexter.
Freaks and Geeks is so good. It's a cult classic. You need to watch it, although there is only one season of that. But anyway, I don't want to get involved in that one. But yeah, so it's so good, and it's good to know that they are teenagers played by teenagers.
Yes.
So that's what I like about that as well. And the season just ends, and you're like, no. And so, unfortunately, we need to wait till next year to get the second season.
But at least there's a second season.
And James is actually played by a bloke who was in Shut Up and Dance, which is a Black Mirror episode, which is, oh my goodness, I need to do Black Mirror. So good.
Okay. I watched one ep and I got turned off. And
was that the very first episode?
Yeah, I couldn't even finish it. I was on the bus coming home and I messaged my partner like, oh my God, I can't even finish this. I got to 30-something minutes and I just couldn't. I had to get him to tell me how it ends, and he's like that. And he's like, there are good episodes.
You need to skip the first episode if you have a queasy tummy.
It's not even that. It just makes you feel icky.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable and icky to watch.
But there are so many great episodes, and Shut Up and Dance is a great episode as well. So yeah, I just highly recommend this show. It's really funny. It's heartbreaking. It's perfect.
Good. I might have to give it a go then.
Absolutely give it a go. All right, I'm going to shut up and move on to Angie's TV choice.
All right, so I'm finally going to talk about Penny Dreadful. Finally. I love this series. I loved it when it first came out, and I even used to watch it every week. I used to have to download and watch the new episode as it would come out. If you like classic horror tales like Dr. Frankenstein and Dorian Gray, etc., then you're going to love Penny Dreadful.
I've actually watched this. I haven't finished it, but I watched it.
How far did you get?
I got up to, I'm sorry if there's spoilers, but it's been out for a while. So anyway, I got
Season 1?
to the Billy Piper's character changing.
The end of Season 1 or Season 2?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's all you need to say for that one. But this actually brings all the classic tales, other characters in kind of an origin sort of story. I really, really liked it. So it's a psychological thriller. It takes place in the dark streets of Victorian London, which is another great reason to watch because it's the epic setting of a good horror story. It's set in 1800s London, and it follows the tale of Vanessa Ives, who's played by Eva Green, such a beauty to my eye.
Yes, absolutely.
I love her. And Sir Malcolm, and he's an explorer. His daughter goes missing to the creatures of London, and he will do whatever he can to get her back. So with his accomplice, the clairvoyant Vanessa Ives, by Eva Green, she soon recruits Ethan Chandler, a sharpshooter from America, and they try to help Sir Malcolm rescue his daughter. So that's about as much as I'm going to try and say without giving it away, even though Steph said, yes, it has been out for a while. What I really liked about this, A, it's good classic horror stuff, which I like. B, it it finishes, like it ends after season 3. It's not one of those that, you know, leaves you hanging. It actually rounds the story up, which I like.
Okay.
Because, like, when I was watching season 3, I'm thinking, are they going to try and push it because it's doing so well? But no, they kept it. They ended it.
I like when they get to a point where they're like, enough's enough. We're going to just pause it.
Yeah.
Again, unlike Supernatural.
Yes. That was good for, like, so long. But anyway, other story. So, yeah, I really like that they did that. I love the gothic art design. I love the clothing. Everything about it is just so good. And it's, like, classic creepy things. I do have to tell you one thing about this. My godfather, so he went camping on his own once. So he usually hikes and then
nothing creepy ever happens when you go camping by yourself.
So I started putting things on his iPad so that way, like, as a new thing, he could take his iPad and start watching some things. And Penny Dreadful was a series that I had put on there. And so he was on his own. He doesn't sleep in tents or anything. It's, you know, hutchy. He does camping properly. And it was dark. As you know, it gets dark pretty quick when you go camping. And he played the first 5 minutes of the first episode. So if you've seen it, you know what happens. I'm not going to ruin it because it's a really good thing to start the series on. But as soon as he saw it, he was just like, fudge that, and he turned it straight off and pretty much just read his book because he couldn't do it on his own while he was camping. So I found that hilarious. But,
yeah, I had to watch it during the day or with lights on.
But you got to, like, remember, camping, there's no one around, it's quiet. The noise, especially in that first 5 minutes, is going to echo. So I can get why he would turn it off. But just it keeps you on your edge, and it's just a really great series to watch.
Yeah, I liked it, and I just got distracted by other shows, but I want to go back and watch that as well.
I definitely recommend you should finish it.
Okay.
All right.
Twisting my arm.
Yeah, I twisted really well. Okay, so let's move on to Steph's Fun Facts.
Okay, so with this, I'm going to do a few facts about Halloween itself and how it came along and stuff like that. And then I'm going to do some scary facts on missing people and things like that. I just thought, you know. Okay, so because the movie Halloween, the 1978, was on such a tight budget, they had to use the cheapest mask they could find for their character, Michael Myers, which turned out to be a William Shatner Star Trek mask.
Oh my God.
Shatner
really?
Initially didn't know the mask was in his likeness, but when he found out years later, he said he was honoured.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know that.
No.
It doesn't look nothing like it.
No. And the first jack-o'-lanterns were actually made of turnips.
Yep, I knew that one.
Really?
Yeah, because I think in, like, I listened to it in another podcast, and I think they still do it in, like, parts of England and stuff.
Wow.
So...
And now for some scary facts. Every 40 seconds, a child goes missing in the US. Approximately 2,300 Americans are reported missing every day. This includes both children and adults. This does not include Americans who have vanished in other countries. Individuals that disappear have never reported, or the homeless and their children. This one is actually really creepy. In most jurisdictions, missing persons cases receive low priority. Authorities are already working homicides, robberies, rapes, assaults, traffic issues, and crime prevention. 692,944 people who were reported missing in 2010. 531,928 were under the age of 18.
Oh.
It is estimated that at least 8 million children worldwide go missing each year.
That's sad. They're sad facts. They're not scary facts.
It's scary to me to think that so many people go missing.
But it's also sad too.
Oh, absolutely. But
especially the fact about it's like a low priority. And the statistics are so high.
And once you've been missing 7 years, you're counted as legally dead.
Wow.
So I am going to change the mood and go back to some Halloween facts. So Halloween is actually the second highest grossing holiday next to Christmas.
See, it's such a good holiday.
The owl is a popular Halloween image. In medieval Europe, owls were thought to be witches, and here an owl's call meant someone was about to die. The largest pumpkin ever measured was grown by Norm Cravan, who broke the world record in 1993 with an 836-pound pumpkin. All I'm going to say is 2.2 pounds to a kilo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do the math.
Yep. And I'm just going to end with one more. The trick-or-treating evolved from the ancient Celtic tradition of putting out treats and food to placate spirits who roamed the streets at Samhain, a sacred festival that marked the end of the Celtic calendar year.
Oh, there you go.
So,
there were some good facts.
They were.
By far the best was William Shatner, my favourite.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to tell my friends, I'm like, I've got some awesome facts. And then I was like, no, I can't tell you.
That's my favourite out of every episode we've had so far.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
It's my favourite fact you've done.
Awesome. Yay.
Now you've got to beat it. You got to find better facts.
Okay, so let's get my scare on and move to Andrew's Penny Dreadful.
So this time I've decided to do something a little different. It's not about it is about a person, but it's more so about a castle. It's called the Murder Castle. It does sound really cool and medieval, but it is actually a hotel that was built in 1887 in the middle of Chicago. So it's not really a castle. So for me to be able to tell you a little bit about the castle, I need to tell you about the creator and designer of the castle. His name was Herman Webster Mudgett, or at the time when he built it, his name was Dr. Henry Howard Holmes, which is usually abbreviated as H.H. Holmes. He is an American serial killer. Further to this, he was also a con artist and bigamist. He confessed to about 27 murders. Only 9 were actually confirmed. He commonly said to people that he killed about 200 people, though, these were not really verified at the time. So, it's just really what he decided he wanted to say. So he got to Chicago in about 1886, and he came across a drugstore, which was run by a little old lady. And he applied for jobs, and he got one, and he was just, he proved to be like a hardworking employee, and eventually he bought the store out from under her. So people believed that the elderly husband disappeared. So everyone thought he had died, but really, I guess he could have died or he could have disappeared because Miss Holton, who was the owner, soon became disappeared, and he just told everyone, that they moved to a different state when he bought it out. But people often believed that he actually,
killed her.
Killed both and just took the place out from under them.
Wow.
So that's sort of how he got there. So he took over the management of the drugstore. Family known as the Connor family, from Iowa, they took over it. So it was a husband, wife, and a daughter. And then the husband, he left after he found out that there was an affair happening between Holmes and the wife. And then soon after that, when the husband was there, it's almost like he didn't want to take responsibility of the wife and someone else's kid. They vanished after that. So whilst they were actually running that drugstore for him, he spent most of his time self-designing his soon-to-be Murder Castle, his building, which was to be a hotel. So construction should have taken about 6 months, but instead took 3 times as long because he constantly hired and fired labourers. This not only saved him a significant amount of money on wages, he would frequently accuse an employee of substandard work and then fire them on the spot without paying a cent. So the most important thing by consistently having the high turnover was that not one person knows the full design and layout of the hotel.
Oh.
So that way every labourer who came in, they worked on one part. They didn't know what it was going to go to. They didn't know what the next person saw or what the previous person saw. So only he knew exactly what that full design was like. So that was an easy way for him to hide the actual design of the place.
Yeah.
So the front that Holmes kept telling everyone that this place was going to be, it was going to be a hotel designed for tourists who were going to come to the 1892 World Fair in Chicago. That was what the front of it was. So let's go into talking about what the castle was designed like.
I just got shivers down my spine.
The castle had a cellar and 3 floors. The first of which was open to the public as it was a street level with shops. Some were operated by Holmes and some leased to local merchants without a clue of what went on upstairs and below the ground. The third floor hotel rooms were scattered among oddly angles. They had narrow corridors with poor lighting from widely spaced gas jets on the walls. There were dead ends and stairways that led nowhere. They were interspersed with locked doors to which only Holmes had the key. One of the locked rooms was adjacent to Holmes's personal office, which contained a walk-in bank vault that had been modified to include a gas pipe. So only Holmes could control this particular gas flow via a panel hidden in his bedroom closet. The second floor was even more confusing. It had 51 doors and 6 hallways. 35 rooms were ordinary bedchambers, but others were either airtight and lined with asbestos-coated steel plates or completely soundproofed. Some were tiny with low ceilings, no bigger than closets. Most of these rooms were rigged with gas pipes connected to the same control panel in Holmes's closet, and equipped with special peepholes, so he liked to watch.
That's so gross.
Many were fitted with alarms that sounded in Holmes's quarters if a, air quotation marks, guest tried to escape. The castle's second story also contained trapdoors, secret passages, hidden closets with sliding panels, and most terrifying, a large greased shaft leading directly to the cellar. So that would be a very painful drop if you went down there. All right, so the cellar. Brick-lined and dark. It was pretty comparable to a dungeon. The various apparatus stored there only added to the terror. Holmes kept an acid tank, quicklime vats, and dissecting tables and surgeon's cabinet, and eventually a contraption of his own invention. Holmes called it the elasticity determinator. He claimed it could stretch experimental subjects to twice their normal height, eventually creating a race of giants. When police found the device, they compared it to a medieval torture rack. Yeah, it's pretty bad. That is the murder castle, but let me sort of round it up how it sort of ended for him. So eventually people are going to notice the people who started to vanish around him, and he was arrested in 1894 for multiple cases of insurance fraud and the death of his friend and accomplice. So how this guy became his accomplice, just a little side note because I find it really, really interesting. Yeah. He quite often would ask labourers, he would say something like, I'll give you like £50 if you'll like hit that guy over the head and like kill him. Most of them turned it down. I think about 2 or 3 people took the offer, and one of his accomplices did actually take it. So when they fled, he then eventually had killed his accomplice and his accomplice's family, and that's how they got him. But yeah, and his accomplice used to help like, you know, trap people and things like that. So it was pretty good. That's if you read into it more. So do definitely read into it more.
This is fascinating.
So I just actually really want to read you a quote Holmes said in his confession. So Holmes claimed, I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer no more than the poet can help the inspiration to sing. Holmes was executed in May 1896, and the hotel met a similar fate. It was burnt to the ground in the 1930s. A big post office was built in the same location, and it remains there today.
Could you imagine working there?
I know, because like if you read into the fire of the place, like it only burnt like I think the top 2 floors, and then the frames are still kind of there in the bottom, so the basement definitely would have survived. So I know, but even the quote's creepy. Like he just accepted that he was a killer, and there's nothing you could do to stop that.
That guy's a creeper.
Yeah, so that is the murder castle. Very creepy place to be.
And it still exists to this day.
It's the post office now. Yeah, so that post office still exists. Yeah, it's a massive building. I looked at pictures of it. We can try and link them onto our Facebook page when we air this. But yeah, definitely read more into it. Another thing, just another side note on how people started to realize that people went missing. He quite often got money because at the same time, medical students, there was a whole thing with medical students where they the grave digging was happening. They had there was riots that were happening because of where they were getting bodies. He was quite often found selling skeletons. So he was obviously doing what he wanted, and then he would completely clean it and sell them. And then, I mean, where are you getting all these skeletons? So 2 and 2 together. But that was the story of the murder castle.
Oh, that was creepy.
You'll think twice when you go into a hotel now.
Yep. Okay, so
Your face.
yeah. So we have some more listener mail.
Yay, I love listener mail.
From Rachel. Rachel was saying that she listens to us while she does the ironing to make it less boring.
Ooh, we are very entertaining.
We are.
I must say.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm glad that you like listening to us while you iron, and I'm glad it makes your day.
Yeah, same. Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel. All right, so we will catch you in the next episode of Nerdazons.
And make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Instagram under Nerdazons, and you can email us anytime at nerdazons@outlook.com. We are on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes.
Yep.
And if you want to give us a like and a rate, that would also help us out.
Yes, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.